What's your biggest business challenge? Past, current, or future? I'm Todd Dills, and in this edition of the Overdrive Radio podcast, we'll be doing something of a lightning round with answers from 4 diverse businesses. A one-truck livestock hauler several years into trucking with his own authority, a veteran team hauling van freight yet working through some of the same challenges as the much younger, less well-versed livestock hauler in a certain way. We'll talk to a small fleet owner concerned about the prospects of regulatory change and dealing with the difficulties that come with growth, and a heavy hauling owner, Rob, who's second generation in the family business and is seeing growth limitations predicated on just one thing: the difficulty contracting with independents to the level necessary to move all of the possible freight they could under contract with their customers. It's a picture of trucking that emerged from conversations at the Walcott Truckers Jamboree 2 weeks ago at Iowa 80 truck stop in Iowa.
We ended up getting a couple teams.
I don't know what it is, but the flatbed side and the septic side is extremely hard to come across right now.
It was at home. I mean, it was close.
It was local, yeah.
It wasn't like you were off in Wyoming somewhere and something happened.
Yeah,
so.
in other words, putting money aside, paying all your bills towards the truck, and then what's left, then you pay yourself.
Failing, because it's so hard paying fuel and fuel out of your pocket.
It's a Midwest mecca for the kind of camaraderie among owner-operators you don't find anywhere other than one of the myriad truck shows happening through the spring, summer, and fall all around the country, and there was no shortage of that here too. So hang on tight. Before we jump into it with livestock hauler Christopher Young, who is showing a 2021 custom Peterbilt 389 in the Super Truck contest there, here's a word from Overdrive Radio's sponsor.
First Guard provides commercial truck insurance to leased owner-operators done right, as we've done for more than 80 years. We provide physical damage and non-trucking. Many companies make you pay up to 6 months of insurance premiums up front, but not First Guard. We bill monthly, so you get quality insurance without needing to pay a lot of cash up front. Go to firstguard.com. That's 1stguard.com. First Guard. We speak trucker. Let's talk.
I'm Christopher Young, 29, from Shellsburg, Iowa.
What's been your biggest kind of challenge, I guess, business-wise?
Getting started.
Like
when you're first getting started your own authority, that was my biggest challenge. The other one was...
Like, what about it? I mean, what?
Afraid of failing, because it's so hard paying fuel and fuel out of your pocket, trying to make that money to be able to afford the house. Because I bought my first truck, I was like 22.
Right.
And I had a house at the time. I was living by myself.
Yeah.
I just had a hard time getting that first year. You just got that hump. You got to cross over, and that was a challenge.
You got the insurance and everything.
Oh, the insurance keeps going up.
Yeah.
It was just that was the hardest part was just getting started.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just been. I mean, it's not smooth. You have your up and downs, and then the breakdowns cost, and it's just mainly breakdown, failing, and getting started. You always have that in the beginning, and here we are. Last year was rough. This year, we're actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been really good. We're busy, super busy, and trying not to take too much advantage of it. But like I said, the COVID makes a big challenge because everybody's not buying much. And
So were you hauling livestock throughout that?
no, I was actually pulling flatbed when COVID hit.
Man.
I was running the East Coast, and that was miserable. I've never actually wanted to just quit because it was so hard. I mean wearing the mask, you gotta wear it, okay, but you step out of your truck, someone's yelling at you, so it was hard to. And it was nice when people like, oh my God, we need the truckers. Then 3 months afterwards, they're
Didn't
like,
last long.
no, they're like, they didn't care about us anymore. So that was the real tough part. But Miranda actually talked, said, hey, just calm down, take a deep breath. And
Young made reference there to his significant other, Miranda Eggers, at the show in Walcott with him.
I took a week off just to get that mind, recharge my mind, and it helped. She convinced me to take more vacations because I never liked vacations, and now she's got me convinced to take more, and so now we go on more vacations together. Here's a funny story. Like, this is our first show both of us at a show.
Yeah.
We were supposed to come last year, then COVID hit.
Yeah.
The year before that, I was working. The year before that, it hurt my eye, so I couldn't see, so I stayed home. And the year before that, I had like some other family deal to go to.
Right.
So we missed like 5 in a row.
Right.
So we were just glad to actually be here and actually have fun. I grew up, all I did is work. That's all I grew up from farming. That's all you did, and no vacation, no such thing as vacation. And her family takes a lot, and her dad drives truck actually, and we talk quite a bit. And it's like, hey, calm down, we'll do this, and overcoming fears and stuff. And
Sure.
And it's a good thing. I mean, I overcome a lot. I learned a lot. I can't take all the credit. My buddy Dylan helped me a lot on getting started and helping me out, teaching me things. All my friends. I had a buddy here last night. He made that die-cast toy that I have. He was here helping.
What's his name?
His name's Josh Harther, and he helped me. He let me borrow. His parents let me borrow their shop. Put this in there, and he's helped me park in there, work on it. And I appreciate everybody that helped me to actually get to where I am today.
Yeah.
I can't say a lot to all of them. I got a good friend that lives 8 miles from my house. We met on the road, and now we're good friends.
There's a definite challenge overcome in that, no doubt. A very basic one for many a truck owner and or driver facing what you might call burnout, for lack of a better term. Young's one-truck livestock hauling operation is not the only business where that's a risk factor, of course. I also talked to a small fleet owner showing in the Super Truck Show who regular listeners may well remember from past coverage. He was one of 9 semi-finalist owners last year in our Small Fleet Champ competition and has been on something of a growth spurt in the last year.
I'm Rob Hallahan from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I own Hallahan Transport. We're a small carrier that we keep growing, going up and down.
12 trucks right now,
12 drivers right now.
12 drivers.
Yeah, we're back down to 9 trucks.
Okay. 9 trucks and 12 drivers. Do you have teams?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I have teams, and then I have a fleet owner that he teams with somebody, and then another guy jumped in his truck. He's driving the truck now. The other guy's looking for another truck.
Okay.
And so last year and a half, 2 years, we've added a couple of extra company trucks, hired on a couple more owner-operators. We ended up getting a couple teams.
Yeah.
We've had a couple people come and go. I mean, it's trucking, it's like every company.
Right. I mean, freight-wise, are you still working with the same people, or have you brought in new contracts?
We're still doing a lot of the same stuff. I mean, it's
Hallahan Transport typically pulls dry van freight, and Rob was showing his Jokes on You new build at Walcott, but you'll hear about more in the coming weeks. The custom 2022 Peterbilt 389 is also a finalist in Overdrive's Pride and Polish Awards competition in both limited mileage and interior categories, and it's a beauty. He worked with a variety of suppliers on it, but heavily with Sioux Falls Peterbilt. Find pictures of it and other Pride and Polish finalists via overdriveonline.com/custom-rigs.
We got into reefers now. We did that one when COVID hit. We kind of got into the reefer a little bit. So we have 3 reefers, but we only run 2 of them.
Okay.
We got the spare. It's actually a fleet owner that he owns the reefers.
Okay.
And then he leased on. He's the one that does the team. Then he'll put something in the truck, and he goes and works in the oil field.
The 389 is Hallahan's personal project truck. He's been out from behind the wheel since last year when growth demanded it. When I asked him about challenges he's having or looking out for, while that growth has been a significant one, he bit on the second part of the question. Here's what he said.
I really haven't been worried about much lately. Yeah. The last year has just been good. I mean, all the way around. Right. The only thing that I can think of right now that I'm kind of concerned about, I just heard maybe last week or the week before that they're passing that bill to raise insurance.
Oh, right.
To like $2 million or something like that.
Yeah,
but I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, I'm a little bit worried about that. Yeah. But I mean, not to the point that I'm it's going to affect us. But the way it's going to affect us is we're going to raise our rates. We're not going to take that cost.
Right.
If my insurance goes up, so are my rates.
Recalculate the formula.
I kind of try to look at things like a better, like the bright side of things. Well, if that's the case, we're going to raise our rates, and the people that don't raise their rates are going to end up failing, and they're going to be gone, and it's going to weed out all the people that are basically cutting the rates. You know, it happens. With COVID hit, you know, it's like these guys all started hauling really cheap and everything, and the next thing you know, they're gone, and rates went back up. You know, well, our rates stayed the same. We wouldn't haul it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to park. You know, you just hold out, and they'll end up paying it. That's got me a little bit concerned on what's going to happen with that insurance. You know.
Yeah. I mean, because it could be substantial. It could be a substantial cost increase.
And not that I'm concerned about like that. You know, I'll raise our rates to cover the cost of our insurance, but I'm also going to piss off customers.
Yeah.
When they go, well, why is that your rate? No, well, because of my insurance. You know, if you want us to haul it, I got to make up for the expense somewhere. Yeah. And the customers aren't going to like that. They're going to want to find, oh, well, we can get so and so to do. Okay, well, go have so and so do it. But when they sell their truck, call me back, and my rate's going to be even higher. You know, because that's what happens. That's how business works.
The proposal to increase liability minimums to $2 million from $750,000 currently sits in the House infrastructure package. The Senate, meanwhile, appears to be ignoring the House chamber more or less in its own fractious and currently seemingly stalled efforts at a bipartisan negotiation on an infrastructure package. So where that all will go is pretty much up in the air at this point. Next, I talked to 29-year-old Aaron Walters, owner-operator with his father of Walters Transport Service out of Pipestone, Minnesota. He was showing a 2019 heavy haul outfitted Pete 389. In addition to Aaron's truck, the company contracts with independent owner-operators who pull their heavy haul trailers on wind energy projects, among other things.
Technically, I work for my dad, but I work for myself. I own my own truck and trailer. We're just a 2-truck operation right now. There's only 2 trucks in the under Walters, and we have a few guys that pull our trailers and
leased on.
No, not really leased on. They have their own authority, but
okay.
They pull our trailers and then they haul our loads too. So I think we started this business back like 12 years ago or so, something like that.
It's your dad, right?
Dad. Right. Yep. Yeah, he doesn't drive anymore. He just runs in the office now.
Okay.
So, yep. Yeah, just me out here for Walters.
Roy Walters is Aaron's father's name and came from the reefer side prior to starting the heavy haul business 12 years ago, as owner-operator Aaron Walters mentioned. When I asked about his big business challenges, the owner's response keyed on the current environment, with plenty of freight and sometimes difficulty having the people in place necessary to haul it. They've got a few irons in the fire to address that, however, as you'll hear.
So, like within the past year, our biggest challenge is actually finding enough trucks to even cover some of our loads and whatnot.
Okay. Like
for our cranes, I don't know what it is, but the flatbed side and the septic side is extremely hard to come across right now. Yeah. I think it's just guys that are they're kind of fed up with the current, with the low rates of loads and whatnot. So they're kind of sticking to their guns.
A lot of people are holding out for higher rates.
Exactly. Yep.
Or maybe, I mean, I've heard about a lot of guys moving into different areas of freight that may have previously done flatbed work.
Oh yeah.
COVID came along and a lot of that dried up, and they started hauling groceries.
Even like the oil field deal, yeah.
Yeah, or what have you.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably been our biggest challenge, is finding drivers, basically, or guys that want to work. Yeah. We have loads for guys if they choose to if they choose to haul them.
Right.
If not, then I guess we'll have to find somebody else. We work directly with the customers, the actual brokers and the companies themselves.
Right.
So. The other companies, they use different brokers as well as us. So
right.
Whatever we don't move, they let the other guys do it.
Yeah. So you guys don't really have a brokerage authority that you utilize.
We're working on that right now.
Oh, you are really?
Yeah, we are working on one. Yep.
I mean, that would certainly be a way to cover those loads directly through your own company without just kind of letting them go.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's not exactly a brokerage that we're working on. It's similar, but it's like a forwarding company.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what we're working at right now.
Gotcha. Yeah. What's your father's name?
Roy Walters.
Roy
Yep.
Walters. Cool. He said he just started this up 12 years ago, right?
The heavy haul side, yeah. We actually had another business before doing river freight that he started back when he was early 20s or so.
Okay. And that would have been when, in the 80s or 90s? Or?
Yeah, I would say late 80s or so.
Okay.
Mid 80s.
From reefer to heavy haul.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
big change, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Asheville, Alabama-based owner-operator team you'll hear from next has been through similarly big changes through a long career that stretches back decades. They're leased to Landstar now. We're showing their 2007 Freightliner Coronado with a custom extended sleeper, fit with more of the creature comforts of a veritable home on the road. It's a beautiful rig you'll also see more of in the days to come.
My name is Michael Wallace. I was born down there in Miami, Florida. And I came out the Marine Corps in '93 and started trucking ever since. It's my third truck. All three of them, fortunately, was a Freightliner, Detroit engine, something I got familiar with.
Okay.
So when our second truck, FLD 120, started having problems, I always go to the shop, get it taken care of. So my wife decided, well, let's just get a newer truck. Because when our last kid got out of school and was going to go into service, I told her we'd come back driving cross country. We saw the Freightliner Coronado, the first time I ever seen it, and
Okay.
I said, I want that truck, that color, fully loaded. And my idea was to make it different than the other Coronados that you'll see out on the street.
Sure.
So that was our first step of trying to make a transition.
Yeah.
And I'm Jackie Wallace. I've been driving since '96.
Okay.
Got my license in '96. Went to a school that would allow him to train me because
Okay.
I wasn't too keen on being in the truck with somebody else that I didn't know. So
Sure.
he trained me, and we took 10 years off. He drove local at home, and then we came
Okay.
back out in '08 and been
And
out
this.
here. Been here ever since, and it's just the best job I've ever had. I mean, I love it.
When I asked the pair about significant challenges, as with owner-operator Chris Young, Jackie and Michael reached back into the recent past to the story of a big challenge overcome. It ends up being a sort of lesson in the mastery of business acumen any inspiring owner-operator might do well to heed. You'll hear a reference to Michael coming off the road at a certain point. He spent that time doing porthole work, during which time he bought his first truck.
We eventually had to put a new engine in the truck.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And you're talking about a big sum of money all at one time. So it's no longer a fear now because we've already done it. But when you think about, oh man, when I had to put the engine in, so you have to set money aside. A lot of owner operators, I think when they get their checks, their settlements, they think all that money is theirs, but you definitely have to put money aside for things like that, and you can't just spend it all.
You got to get ready for that unforeseen event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, though. I try to help them more or less, in the sense of educating them. But almost everybody come out here considered to be somewhat of an adult. Some of the companies, that's their business. They conduct it as they see fit. They bring them out here, not just some of the younger generations, some of the ones that have been on the longest. And you try to tell them, because some of them say, oh, I used to be an owner-operator. And they try to point the finger at the company in which they work for as blaming someone to blame. But as you get to talking to them, the business side of it is that they don't know how to really know what it takes to run their truck and how to save money.
Yeah.
So in other words, putting money aside, paying all your bills towards the truck, and then what's left, then you pay yourself. So, but a lot of them come out here and they fall face first because they just want to have it. I'm an owner operator. I got my truck. Okay, what are you doing for maintenance? What are you doing if this go down? Because the company no longer want to take care of that repair for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have a clue, and they lose their truck.
But as far as really worrying about something, I guess because we eased into it. Nowadays, these young guys, they're jumping in a lease truck and becoming an owner-operator. We were offered that opportunity as a company driver, and we're like, no, we don't know anything about being an owner-operator. So we started in it slow. When we came off the road for 10 years, that's when he became an owner-operator. But he was at home. I mean, it was close.
It was local, yeah.
It wasn't like you were off in Wyoming somewhere and something happened.
Yeah.
So we eased into it. So I guess we learned slow. So that made it a little easier as we got to the point where we are now. Right. So I don't really have any real fear.
Michael added more to that, with echoes of owner-operator Young again.
I mean, it's not I used to be a workaholic. I never took a day off.
Right.
And then when she was with me, and she said, well, Mike, you got to take a day off. You got to have some time for yourself. I said, well, we got to pay these bills. We got to go. So the first truck show I went to was Louisville. Really exciting. So after we left that, I say, when is the next truck show? And we've been going ever since. And when I was a kid, I always took care of my vehicle. I had a 73 Super B, the Volkswagen. And I did the same thing I'm doing now. Cleaning, waxing, taking care of it. So, and I told her, when I taught her how to drive, when she came out here, I said, now, the first dime, go to this truck. I said, they leave us with no money. I said, because the wheel ain't turning, we ain't making no money.
Yeah. But we work. I mean, we're both like that. It's like work. When it's time to relax, I mean, we don't take real vacations like everybody else to the beach or mountains. Truck shows our vacation.
Right, right. How long have you been here? Did you guys get here real early?
We kind of worked our way up here. We know what's coming to the show, so we worked our way up here. We took a load up there to. We went to where our terminal at? Illinois. We went to Rockford, Illinois. Then we went to pick up a load in Wisconsin. From Wisconsin, took us over to Burlington, and we just came on over here.
We got lucky. Sometimes we've deadheaded to this show. We deadheaded from Pennsylvania one time.
Wow.
Because we wanted to come, and we said, okay, let's go.
That's a long way.
But so we got lucky this time. We were only like 70 miles away.
We met a lot of friends since we've been out here, truck drivers, and we meet up and we check with each other. You coming to the show, and they say yeah, so we'll meet up here. We try to spend that time together. So the camaraderie with some of the drivers is nice. But we look forward to that.
Challenge number 1: figuring out those ways to recharge when it's needed, as in life in general, as in trucking. The Overdrive Radio podcast is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. The podcast is produced by myself, Todd Dills, with no small amount of support from news editor Matt Cole, social media coordinator Holly Young, and executive editor Alex Lockie. Until the next time you find that extended break, keep it pro out there.